Hello viewers, you're welcome to Urban's Flights Reality TV show. I'm Stephanie Steven. Today we're going to be having an interesting session on the topic education and its modern day misconception. What is education? Education is the process of gaining knowledge. And what is misconception? Misconception means a wrong or an inaccurate idea. There are a lot of misunderstanding going on around in the world today about education, one of which is schools don't matter. Most people believe they don't have to go to school in order for them to become wealthy or famous in life, of which is wrong. There is a saying, education is power to the impoverished. I have with me Mr. Joseph, my co-host, and two amazing guests who are going to be sharing more light on the topic today, Ms. Blessing Hazener and Ms. Glory Johnson. You're welcome. Mr. Joseph, what do you have to say about education and its modern day misconception, considering what is going on around in the world presently?
Thank you very much, Stephanie, for that wonderful question. Honestly, the misconception associated with education is worrisome. And that is why the Urban Slide Initiative decided to bring our guest speakers on board today. Permit me to ask, Blessing, are you comfortable with the level of misconception associated with education today in our society?
No, I'm not comfortable.
Can you, one or two reasons why you are not comfortable with these misconceptions?
One, I'm not comfortable with the misconceptions because they say we don't need education. The same people that say that we still come back to regret. And two, believing that education is a misconception actually hinders them from achieving so many things they should have achieved.
Thank you. Ms. Glory, you heard what she said. Yes. She said no. She do not agree with the misconception associated with education. On your part, what do you have to say?
I do not also agree with it.
Okay, what are your reasons? Just one or two, quickly.
When you're not educated, you're lowering yourself down.
Because education gives you an high advantage to many things as well. So when you're not educated, that means you're injuring yourself for so many blessings.
Thank you very much. That's your take on the misconception. Which means the both of you do not agree on the misconception associated with education in our society today. Okay. Now let's take it to the next question where, you know, today so many persons believe, or should I say there is a popular theory that says education is a scam. Believe it or not, you will get it in all quarters of the society today. I've heard it. Persons, Stephanie, have you not heard that?
Of course.
You've equally heard that, right?
Yes.
And it is worrisome. And at this point, I would like the both of you, and that's why the both of you are brought on stage today. I would like, let me start with you. Would you subscribe to the theory, education is a scam, in quotes?
Education is not a scam. And I'm appealing to everybody in Nigeria, but everybody in the whole world. Nobody should believe that education is a scam, because if you believe in such thing, that means you are also injuring yourself, you are stopping yourself from achieving so many things.
Education is success, education is power. So when you have power, how can it be a scam? So it never relates to a scam.
Okay. Before I come to you, Ms. Blessing, please permit me to know you are appealing to persons not to believe that. What about persons who live in an environment where such theory is dominant?
I don't really blame them, because some say that even though I've been to school, I'm a graduate, still yet there's no job for me. But believe in me, that certificate surely will actually get you to somewhere that you don't actually believe. So when you have that certificate, it should actually get you to somewhere you yourself cannot even believe in it. So you have to get to school, you have to go to school, you have to read hard for your education, for your exams, in order for you to achieve your aim.
Miss Stephanie, you did you hear what? Yeah, you heard what Glory have said concerning that. Well, we've not heard from Blessing, but I don't know if Blessing will be having a different take. Permit me to, Blessing, Please, can you give us your take on that? Education is a scam.
Thank you very much. I think we need to ask our doctors and lawyers that question because they will be able to answer that question very, very well.
Okay.
To me, education is not a scam. Because if education is a scam, I see no reason why some people will go to school and they'll become doctors. They'll go to school and become bankers, they'll go to school and become engineers, they go to school and become lawyers and all of that. Education is not a scam. I think those that believe it is a scam, most of them maybe when they went to school, they were not serious. Because those that are actually serious with their studies, they will not come out to say education is a scam. I believe a barrister will not come out to say education is a scam. Because I believe it's that education he took serious, that took him where he or she is today. If education was a scam, they will not be where they are today. Education actually took them to where they are. So education to me is not a scam, and I will not advise anybody to have that idea that education is a scam.
Okay, so the point is not just going to school, but then there has to be a seriousness.
Yes.
That means you have to be committed to it. There has to be a zeal.
Yes.
Okay, so how then do most people come about this belief of education isn't a guarantee to wealth? So how do you relate to that? Because most youths in our society today believe I don't have to go to school in order for me to be wealthy.
Yes. I think those that actually think like that or believe is maybe because they actually know people or have seen someone that went to school, spent so many years in school and there's nothing to show for it. But they're mistaken because when an opportunity comes, that person that actually went to school will get the opportunity first before them. So in some cases you don't have to blame them, saying I don't really have to go to school to make it. But they've forgotten that tomorrow if there's a job opportunity, I will not see a graduate leave that graduate and pick somebody that never went to a school, like he did not go to a school at all.
So do you actually believe there are people in a society who are not educated, they are wealthy and they still don't want to go to school?
And they are renowned in the society.
Yes, and they are well known in the society.
I don't think I've seen one, but if eventually there's any, like he think he's doing well that because he don't go to school, I will advise him on how to just give it a push. At least go to school. When you come back, you see that you will do better than when you never went to school.
You know, Mr. Joseph, there's this president that ruled some time ago. I think he's one of our ex-presidents.
Okay.
You know, I learned there was a particular time he had to go back to school and he earned his master's degree or something.
Okay.
You know, that is really a plus.
No, actually it's really a plus.
So I don't see any reason why most people will then say I don't have to go to school in order to be wealthy. Why then does he have to go back and get such a certificate?
If education is not important.
Exactly. So Miss John, what do you have to say about
maybe that person has seen someone who has gone to school and is doing better than before.
Okay.
So that's why I actually pushed himself to go to school to actually earn that knowledge. Knowledge is one of the key things to get into school. So you have to gain knowledge.
You can.
Okay.
So do you think this misconception of a thing has really affected some people in the society about education? Do you think misconception has really affected education?
Yes, it has affected them because so many people actually have lost opportunities they should have grabbed if they were educated. So many people actually lost vital things to them because they were not educated. And so many people are regretting because they are not educated. So these misconceptions they have up here is really, really affecting so many people.
Please, Ms. Glory, you've heard what Ms. Stephanie asked, that education the misconception. You were asked earlier on that in some society the misconception has eaten deep into the fabric body of that society to the point where person will see education and they will run away. They just don't even want to. But the moment you mention education, they feel so irritated. Like, do you think this misconception is a function to that high level of education persons get concerning the concept of education?
One of the reasons people do not go to school is because of money. But if they have the opportunity going to school, definitely they will. So money hinders a lot of things. So if they have that money to actually go to school, and secondly, some of them don't want to face the stress of going to school and reading their books. Actually, so I know money is one of the reasons, and second is stress.
Okay. Now, this misconception. Sorry, Miss Stephanie, for picking.
Yeah.
Okay. Please, I just want her to throw more light on the misconception, like what Miss Blessing said, have affected persons negatively. Now, do you think, or maybe you've experienced persons that you think because they have that misunderstanding, that wrong idea or wrong notion about education, do you think that at one point they've come to regret that they never went to school, or come to regret that their words never went to school? Or because I knew of somebody who once said that if I had known, I would have sent my niece to school. The young man had the opportunity of sending this girl to school, but the man said no, he won't send the girl to school. Why? Because going to school, you come back, graduate, and roaming the street. And do you think that this misconception have really affected, persons in a very high degree?
Yes. Because most people, they go to school, and when they come out, they are running about the streets. So to actually see people and like to be disturbed and all, they don't want to like go to school because of the instances they have seen on the street or that. So I really encourage people to go to school so that they will aim higher in life.
Okay. Miss Stephanie, they said so much. Please permit me to. She said something. I don't know if you would like to. I would like us to still say something concerning what she said.
Okay.
The other time I overheard when she said that bankers, if you don't go to school, you won't work in the bank.
Exactly.
I don't know. Have you not seen persons who never went to school but they are working in the bank?
It's not possible.
You've not seen?
It's not possible.
Blessing.
You just have to be educated in order for you to fit in that particular sector.
So which means going to school, one is acquiring a knowledge that help either improve the skills or rather showcase that talent one has.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes.
I'm correct, right?
Correct.
Okay, I wouldn't, without much to say, Miss Stephanie, do you have any other questions you want to
Yeah, exactly.
So
There's a saying I came across, and it says education is power to the impoverished.
Okay.
And she mentioned a point relating to that.
Okay.
She said most people in the society don't go to school due to money, due to finance. So I want us to
Really?
to dwell on that.
Okay.
Because most of the youths had actually lost the mindset of, most of them really want to be educated, but then when they look around the situations surrounding them, no finance, no one to sponsor them, what would you have to say about that, Ms. Percy?
Thank you very much. I think this question you asked is part of the reasons why our government actually made education free.
Okay.
You don't really need to go to a private school before you know that you went to school. So many people attended public schools and are doing great today. In fact, I can say most of our leaders today, they never went to private school. They went to public schools. And I know in one way or the other, even if you go to a public school, you still need money. But it's not as much as you will pay for a private school.
That is true. It's evident in every public school.
Yes. And we are talking about finance. I want you to know that finance is actually not the only problem, because most times these misconceptions actually come from our parents, not we, the youth or the children. Because most parents actually think school is a daytime babysitter. I just have to take my baby to school so that he or she will not disturb me, so I can just rest. This child just has to leave the house.
Okay.
They have the money to send this child to school. So if our parents have that mindset, what do you expect of the children?
Okay.
If they know, if some of the parents will even tell them, this school you are going to, I know you cannot make use of it. You just have to go for going sake. Okay. If parents actually say that to their children, do you think those children will be able to change their mindset? Before you can actually change that mindset, to take time because that's what they're bringing from their home.
Okay, so that means our parents also have a long way to go in order to help their children learn better.
Yeah. And invariably, she's equally saying that even the society at large, to an extent, so to speak, have contributed even to that same misconception. Society will always, sometimes what we do, society will always want to give you reasons why you should do this, reasons why you should not do this. Just like what she said. But please, before we move further, please, Glory, you were the one that that question was coined from the answer you give. That was where she picked that question from. I will still want you to say something concerning what she just asked. She said some factors will always, do you think, yes, some persons, the misconception, there's always the factor that precipitates something. Now, something made some persons to have that misconception. It might not really be, if you want to play Miss Stephanie, sometimes you pass through some of these stress. You know what it is. Sometimes you might be there, you want to give up.
Yes.
Sometimes you want to go, you're looking for this, the finance might be there, but other environment, conduciveness, just like what she said, going to public school, private school, we still need to put all these things into consideration. So, Chloe, quickly, just in brief, do you think this misconception, we don't really need to blame these individuals 100%?
One of the key factors is ignorance. Because if you are ignorant of something, you are definitely going to hinder yourself for so many things.
You just hit the nail on the head. Thank you very much. Okay, Miss Stephanie, what else do you have to say before we all the program?
Not really much. According to what they've all said, education is not a scam. I personally believe in education. I always use a particular quote, which is education is the best legacy. You want to live an exemplary life, you want to be famous, you want to be wealthy, you need education.
In all facets
of life. Be you a fashion designer, a hairstylist, whatever the profession you may be, education is key to success.
Okay, well, thank you very much. On my own part, having heard from our two guest speakers, they've spoken really well. And thank you very much for that. Let me just say that whether we like it or not, as individuals, we need education. Aside the fact that we need education, it's knowledge. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power, and applied knowledge is power. So please, I would like our viewers out there to understand the fact that the popular theory saying education is a scam. Please unsubscribe to such a theory. Thank you very much, our viewers out there. Thank you very much, our speakers. My co-host.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
It's nice having our wonderful guest on stage today. I also want to encourage our youth out there who feels education is a scam. Oh no, please. Education is not a scam. Education is power. Education is strength. Education is knowledge. With education, I want to assure you that everything you feel it's difficult, it's right at the tip of your fingers if only you're willing to go to school and get yourself educated. Kindly follow us on our social media platform, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Thank you for watching Urban Splice Initiative, bringing out the reality in